Hello, I'm Jeremy Vine, and this is Panorama. Tonight, tax revenue is plummeting. Everyone's broke, so how can the taxman collect more to pay for rocketing public spending? What about the tax havens, the bounty bar islands where critics say the rich hide their money from the taxman?
Tax havens are estimated to be costing UK revenue at least £18.5 billion, that's $25 billion every year. And that loss is being made up by ordinary taxpayers.
I swear the testimony I give will be the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Meet the bank whistleblower who told the secrets of the tax havens, and now his life is on the line.
Is he being protected?
Yes.
Where is he?
I can't say.
It's estimated that the American taxpayer loses $100 billion a year to tax havens, many of them still under the Union Jack. Now change is coming.
I say it's time to close corporate loopholes, shut offshore tax havens, and restore balance and fairness to our tax code.
Today's spending is tomorrow's tax, and with the recent bailout of the banks, the government's overdraft now stands at a record £44 billion. Now that will squeeze spending on hospitals and schools for years to come, and it's only going to get worse as unemployment and recession cut tax revenues even further. So tonight we ask, is it time to get tough on tax havens and get some of the millions squirreled away offshore back onshore?
The tune's ours, but the words aren't. So in this microstate in the Alps, they don't sing God Save the Queen, but Ode to the Young Rhine. Funnily enough, it's the backing music familiar to bagmen from tax havens the world over. Jersey, Guernsey, the Isle of Man, Caymans, and here in Liechtenstein too. Liechtenstein's tiny, less than 16 miles long, on the banks of the Rhine, sandwiched between Switzerland and Austria. It's rich, boasting one of the world's wealthiest monarchs. And it's home to thousands of fuzzy financial trusts and foundations holding billions of dollars. Total secrecy was the law here, set down by the Liechtenstein royal family. This is their Schloss behind me. Not only do the royals run the joint, they also own the country's biggest bank, LGT. So it's a state, a tax haven and a bank, all controlled by the same royal family. Now Liechtenstein is under pressure because of this man, Heinrich Kieber, a lowly IT anorak who worked in the back room of the royal banking group. His job? To copy thousands of client files from the group's investment trust, LGTT, onto electronic disks. In 2001, he walked away with the bank's most precious assets. The banking secrets of the super-rich, millionaires, tax cheats, dictators.
The documents lay out the sales efforts of the bank, what they told people about how confidential they could keep everything. These documents have turned out to be explosive.
Like a lot of whistleblowers, Kieber's motives were not wholly public-spirited. He was facing fraud charges in Liechtenstein for failing to come up with the money for the purchase of a flat in Barcelona. In early 2003, after he quit the bank trust, he wrote to its royal bosses seeking their help to get the charges dropped, and he let them know he'd copied the disks.
He was threatening to release this data unless the head of state was doing something about these unfair charges. We looked at it and we considered it attempted coercion, and we prosecuted him on those charges as well.
Kieber was sentenced to 4 years. Then the LGT Royal Banking Group paid for his appeal. After agreeing to return the electronic discs, Kieber walked away, a free man.
I was suspicious already at that time that there is a good risk that we would hear from Mr. Kieber again.
Yes, you've guessed it. He'd copied the copies. In the old days, one lonely whistleblower like Heinrich Kieber wouldn't have troubled the mighty royal house of Liechtenstein. But today Kieber has a new and powerful friend. Not here, but here. It was in this building in Washington, D.C. But Senator Obama sponsored the Stop Tax Haven Abuse bill. And here too, that the world finally got to hear about what really goes on inside Liechtenstein. For Senate investigators hunting for tax secrets of the super-rich, Kieber's discs were pure gold.
Good morning, everybody. About 50 tax havens operate in the world today. Their twin hallmarks are secrecy and tax avoidance.
The man behind the silhouette is Heinrich Kieber. Tax officials around the world tuned in to hear this.
I began to realize the very questionable business the LGT was often involved in and the dubious clients they were serving. The kind of business that goes beyond just facilitating massive tax evasion.
Kieber was some kind of massive explosion right at the heart. If this can happen in Liechtenstein, which was regarded as the most secretive, and by the way, one of the most toxic of the really the kind of the small tax havens, if this could happen in Liechtenstein, then it could happen elsewhere.
In the vast majority of all legal entities, LGT does not have a clue about the real sources of their clients' huge wealth. I raised this topic with managers. All these discussions were about files with strong indication to corruption, links to dictators. The answer was always the same. None of your business, just stick to your designated job.
Well, there have been problems in a number of territories for some time.
Name one.
Liechtenstein is certainly one.
The British, the Americans and the Germans don't always agree, but they do about Liechtenstein. Back in the Big Yodel, I wanted to ask the Liechtenstein royal family about that astonishing claim by Kieber's lawyer, Jack Blum.
If the family business of the absolute monarch of this place is a felony, you don't have a country, you have a criminal enterprise.
We hear that a Liechtenstein royal has cropped up at a banking seminar at the university. There's a do to discuss becoming more open. This being Liechtenstein, the openness meeting is happening, as far as Panorama is concerned, behind closed doors. I now know what the prince looks like, but the doors are closed. Finally, I get to put my question to His Serene Highness, Prince Nikolaus of Liechtenstein. In America, Kieber's lawyer, Jack Blum, says that the Liechtenstein royal family, by aiding and abetting tax evasion, are effectively crooks. So the question is, are you a crook, sir?
It is very clear that every country has its laws. America has quite different tax laws than Liechtenstein. If I evade taxes in Liechtenstein, I have to pay a higher tax, but I have no criminal prosecution. Only if I make tax fraud, that is to say I falsify documents, then I'm also a criminal in Liechtenstein. So we have a difference there.
Rich little Liechtenstein defends its sovereign right to run its financial service industry as it pleases. Its critics say a tiny monarchy should not be allowed to undermine the tax-raising powers of much bigger countries, especially if that means that ordinary taxpayers have to pay more.
We accept that everybody does what he thinks is right in his country. They also have to respect our laws. And there is no international law that asks you to assist other tax administrations to bring in their money. We do it more and more, but there is no law that demands it.